Good morning, guys. Today, talking about unhappy customers. I've had some unhappy customers. I don't know, maybe some of you guys have never had an unhappy customers. I would love to live your life. But here in my business, once in a while, we'll have an unhappy customer. And Garrett, who's actually helping me film this little podcast here, can attest that this year is probably one of the years we've had the most unhappy customers, because we've had such growth this year. We've had quite a few new guys come on. We had new guys take on new positions, move up the ladder a little bit, and that's had quite a few people drop the ball, and we've had some unhappy customers. So how do you deal with an unhappy customer? I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I tend to try to smooth people out a little bit with how I talk to them, and sometimes they stay unhappy. Even though we finish the job and get the check, it doesn't mean everything's all peachy keen, and they're going to post a good review for you on the Better Business Bureau or something like that. Sometimes they just stay unhappy. But I'm here to say that that's not the worst thing in the world, because there's going to be some people that you just can't make happy, and there's going to be things that are going to happen in your project that no amount of discounts or gift cards that you give them are going to remedy that. So you just got to do the best you can to deal with that unhappy customer, collect the check, make sure that they don't have anything else that you need to take care of, and move on to the next customer and hopefully make them happy. So let me leave you with a couple of tips. I'm going to give you 4 tips here today on how to deal with an unhappy customer. And you can have an unhappy customer as so long as you're doing your best. You know when you're not at your best. And if you're looking at the situation and you have a guy that's unhappy, and you might have the hair up standing up on your back, and you're saying, this guy's wrong, he's looking at the situation wrong, he's being unreasonable. But you got to look at the homeowner, stand in the homeowner's shoes and say, if I was the homeowner and this was my house and they put the wrong color on, or they left some nails in my yard, or they had some water come in and landed on my my machine that's in my shop, if you're dealing with a commercial project, you got to step in their shoes and say, how would I feel if I was that? If I had $1 million facility and water came in. So if you know you're doing your best, you can feel comfortable that you're doing everything you can for that customer. And some customers are just going to be nasty during that situation. If you're not doing your best, you got to own up to it and say, you know what, I really am not giving my 100% to this customer. Maybe you're avoiding him. Maybe you're not responding quickly enough because you're embarrassed. Get over that. If you know you're not doing your best, own it and step up to the plate and give that customer the 100% that they deserve, whether you really don't like them or not, whether you like them or not. Number 2, as long as you're honest and tactful. So, there's an old saying that says, if you're always honest, you don't have to remember what you said. You don't have to cover your tracks up with new lies because you distorted the truth or you were deceiving. So as long as you're honest, you won't really have to keep a memory of what you said. So always be honest and be tactful. When I say tactful, always trying to look at it from the angle of the customer and being careful what you say. Sometimes we want to fire off a quick negative or a quick shot at the customer. Well, you did this, or well, you said that. And you want to stay away from that kind of negativity. You always want to come from the angle of, so how can we resolve this situation? You're having this problem, and let's look at a couple of options to solve that problem. We could do A, we could do B, we could do C. Does that sound okay with you, Mr. Customer? And at least having a nice low-key conversation with them that way and keeping things tactful would help you navigate through that situation. So as long as you're doing that, you might still have an unhappy customer at the end, but you're doing them a great service. Number 3, don't change your story through the process of having this situation with this unhappy customer. If you're saying the first or second day when something goes wrong that X and Y happened, and then 2 days later, 3 days later, when you're wrapping up the project and you're back to do the right thing or fix it, and they're unhappy and they're complaining, and you say something else, well, no, really A and B happened. Customers are going to pick up on that. They're not stupid. They're really quick to catch. Well, that's not what you said last time. That's not what you said on Monday. Why are you saying on Wednesday now that this other story? So always make sure that your story is consistent and don't change your story. They'll catch on to you really quick. So number 4, take time to respond. People contact us many different ways, either from texts or emails or instant messaging on Facebook, or people even contact me on LinkedIn and voicemails on your phone. When you first get that initial call, when you get that unhappy news, hey, water came in my building, hey, some wind blew up your material, something doesn't look right, and they're expressing their dissatisfaction on that message, whichever one it is, be careful that you don't just fire back some hasty response, and you want to take some time to put some thought into it. Think about what you're going to say. Maybe do a little research on the subject if it includes researching what product or any background information that you might need. You might need to put a phone call into somebody that's knows a little bit more about the subject than you do before you actually fire back a response to them. I know a lot of us in the roofing industry, we tend to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more I don't really want to use the word caveman-like, but we're kind of tough guys, and so we just want to fire back. Well, hey, we should do this or we should do that, and you want to actually put some thought into it. Think about what you're going to say. Use some tactful words, and if it's a really dire situation, you got water coming in the building, you're still going to want to take 5 minutes to prepare your response, and that'll actually help the situation, because I know I've fired off a message before and I got burned later because they held me to it. Well, you said in this text or this email, blah 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 blah. And man, if I would just taken a few more moments to think about it and actually got the correct information before I fired back, I wouldn't be in this situation. And there's nothing wrong with sending a customer a message. Hey, I need to look into this for just a minute. Can you give me a couple minutes to get back with you? And they'll appreciate that response. At least know that you're on it. So those are just a couple quick responses when you're dealing with an unhappy customer. But I want to let you know you're in good company. A lot of roofing contractors, especially on social media, they don't ever like to let people know that they have unhappy customers. You just get this idea that everybody else is always got happy customers, and you're the only one, and you don't really talk about it. But I'm here to tell you that does happen, and not everybody's gonna give you accolades and put 5 stars on your Facebook review or whatever review page you have. So you're working on people's houses and homes, for goodness sake. You're gonna have a few that aren't always completely happy. So don't let it keep you awake at night. Remember, there's plenty of customers out there that will be happy with their work. Just get the unhappy ones taken care of, collect your money, and move on. Hope you guys got some value from this. If you like it, please express your thanks and like it down below, and I would love it if you could share it. And comment any other additional thoughts or experiences you've had on this subject down below. Have a great day, guys.